it's like to travel by cruise in Brazil. Let's make a comparison between two of the companies that have been coming regularly to Brazil for years, Costa and MSC Cruises. And we will also include the one that was preferred by many Brazilians for years, Royal Caribbean, which left in 2016 and so far shows no signs of returning. Embarkation. The first time we traveled with MSC, we spent more than 1 hour under the scorching sun in Rio de Janeiro. The baggage collection process was slow and boarding was done by purchasing a ticket. It took more than 2 hours to board. The second time we boarded in Santos, and the process was also slow, with a queue to leave luggage before acquiring passwords. With Costa there was no difference from the MSC in terms of boarding time, which was also lengthy and with a password. And in Itajaí queues under the sun also occurred. However, they collected our luggage faster than MSC every time. They also took more than hours to board. We traveled several times with Royal and in all of them there was a standard in boarding. Fast baggage handling, no passwords and slightly faster boarding than Costa and MSC. Let's not talk about boarding in Miami, where you are on the ship in less than 20 minutes after arriving at the port. This means that a large part of the delay is due to the Brazilian bureaucracy, as in several ports there is this delay. Cordiality. On MSC, the crew barely looked the guests in the face the first time we traveled. Employees fought among themselves and officers humiliated subordinates in front of the guests. They also couldn't smile and joke with the guests, who would soon show up an officer to fight with them about it. On another occasion, however, the service improved. At Costa, the service and cordiality remained the same on the trips we took with them, and once we saw an officer also fighting with a crew member in public. And on the ship there were staff looking tired, grumpy, and not very welcoming. But almost all of the staff are friendly and we like Costa's service more than MSC's. And on Royal, also on all the trips we took, the same standard and quality of service, cordial, friendly crew, but at a level well above Costa and MSC. You are welcomed with friendly smiles by the vast majority of the crew, who joke and laugh amongst themselves, seeming to be in a more relaxed environment to work. Seems to be doing well with life. Crew. Something we always look at on cruises is crew satisfaction in working on the ship. Nobody wants to be served by dissatisfied people and doesn't want them to work like that. Companies that do this don't deserve the crew they have. Of the crew we spoke to, there were complaints of tiredness and overwork on the MSC. One crew member even quit the contract before it ended, due to stress, and there are plenty of reports of this on the internet. On the Costa we saw some crew looking tired and not very friendly. We talked to some of them, but there were no complaints. At Royal, however, of the crew we talked to, everyone was happy with the company and didn't complain. Even an employee who left MSC joined the Royal group and said she was very happy working for them, already on her third contract. And this is visible, almost palpable among the Royal team. Service. The MSC service left something to be desired, not very helpful. We asked an officer for information who refused to respond with a certain rudeness. At the restaurant, when requesting an extra chair, the guy said he didn't have it and didn't want to bring it, we just had to look a little and we got it. When requesting paper for the printer at the reception, the attendant rolled her eyes gloatingly, saying that there was paper in the same room as the printer. Another front desk attendant also treated us dismissively for another request. So much so that on the next cruise with them, we simply resigned ourselves to avoiding contact with the crew or ordering from them. At Costa, when requesting something, we always got a response, in a friendly way and never with the crew member rolling their eyes at you. The service was very good. At Royal we have a crew that always wants to exceed your expectations. Any request is answered promptly, with friendliness and helpfulness. Once, when there was a delay in the delivery of our clothes from the laundry, due to an error that was ours, the head of the laundry sweated with concern, and it turns out that the mistake was not even his. At the restaurant, my napkin fell to the floor, and without my noticing it, a waiter already came with another one and placed it in my lap, surprising me. On another cruise, the waiter rotated the ship to bring me beer that was not available at the pool bar. Of course, one or another employee may not be as helpful as that, for various reasons, such as terminating a contract, for example. But at least 90% of the crew will always do something else in terms of service, something we've never seen on MSC or Costa. Royal also has the highest number of crew per guest to serve you. Loyalty and Courtesies Program. It is common for companies to offer discounted products, discount on cruises, cocktails and drinks at events for loyal members, and on the Captain's Night, the Gala Night, Christmas, New Year, complimentary drinks and cocktails for all guests. MSC seems not to have counted our membership, as the traditional club welcome card was not left for us in the cabin or sent by email, nor did we receive the daily pamphlet with benefits and discounts on board for repeat guests. The welcome drink they advertised to give to members, we were not given. MSC granted, on the traditional gala night, 1 hour of free drinks to guests and held an event with the captain, where he is the main attraction of the night, as the party suggests. Costa didn't welcome us to the club either, but left a pamphlet in the cabin with the discounts and benefits we were entitled to in stores, specialty restaurants, drinks, including great discounts of around 20% on bottles of wine and sparkling wine. However, Costa was not at all generous with regard to complimentary drinks. Nothing was served as a courtesy on the entire cruise. Not even on the Captain's Night was the traditional glass of sparkling wine awarded. There wasn't even a Captain's Night, they just put him on the stern of the ship to take some pictures, and it was very dull. At the exclusive party for loyal members, no cocktails or complimentary drinks, in a very weak show in the theater. Not even on New Year's Eve did they even serve a glass of sparkling wine to toast New Year's Eve, something we've never seen in any company, not even the most economical. At Royal Caribbean, you receive a welcome letter upon becoming a member, which outlines all the benefits, freebies and discounts you are entitled to. Royal is the company that grants the most complimentary drinks. A general party for all loyalty members with free drinks, and an individual party for each of the loyalty levels with free drinks. A real gala evening is held on the Commander's Night. Usually in the center of the ship, with music, shows and presentations, while sparkling wine is served free of charge to all guests. We took a back-to-back cruise with them, and were given a bottle of bubbly as a gift between cruises. Complimentary sparkling wine is also served at New Year's Eve. Room service. Something that has always been very good in all companies, but that changed after the health crisis. Both on Costa and on MSC, there are complaints from several guests about poor service, slow service, poorly cleaned cabins, bed linen and utensils not changed, etc. We suffered from this, with the cabin not vacuuming the carpet the entire cruise, glasses not replaced, just replaced, and superficial cleaning in the cabin. The friendliness and service of the waiters at Costa has always been very good. Nothing to complain. At MSC, I needed maintenance and had to insist that they come to fix it. The Chamberlain got mad at me for insisting. I also made a mistake by not properly marking the clothes to be sent to the laundry, and he got angry with me once again. Royal Caribbean always follows the same standard of service, and even after the crisis, it continued with the high quality of service and care. Your cabin is cleaned at least twice a day, with the utmost rigor. If you move a cup, even if you haven't used it, it will be replaced. Towels, which must be left on the floor to be exchanged, were replaced without us asking. We never saw the floor not vacuumed or the cabin not cleaned and the bedding replaced on time. Made the same mistake as the laundry at Royal, and the laundry manager arrived sweating and apologizing, even though it was my mistake. And the cordiality and service of the Royal stewards has always been exceptional, above all that we have sailed. Buffet and restaurants. The MSC buffet service is varied, both for breakfast and afternoon and for lunch and dinner, with good options. There are queues for everything, it's hard to get tables at peak hours and the service is slow. There were guests who ordered drinks that arrived as they were finishing their meals, and some staff complained of being tired. In the main restaurant, the tables are very close to each other, cramped, and the service a little slow, especially for drinks. The quality of the food has gone downhill recently and the desserts disappointing. On the Costa, the buffet service has deteriorated. The crew serves their food in a poor buffet of options. Dirty dishes piled up on the tables at peak times, presumably due to understaffing. There were lines to get help, especially at peak times, but getting a table at the buffet was not difficult. There was better space between tables in the main restaurant, and the speed of service was on par with MSC. The quality of the food was good, as well as the desserts. At Royal, there is an immense variety in the buffet, greater than any of the other companies mentioned, at all times, in a system where there are no queues to serve yourself, as they divide everything into islands. There are waiters who promptly serve you whatever you want, carts pass by with wine and beer dipped in ice. And it's super fast if you get a table. In the main restaurant, the tables have comfortable space between them and the service is fast, both for drinks and dishes. Needed something, asked for it, it arrived, in the work of a team that pays attention to detail. The quality of 90% of the food is exceptional, and the desserts, for the most part, are a delicacy from the gods. Beverages included in the rate. MSC serves water, juices, coffees and teas. Water only at the buffet, juices only at breakfast, coffee and teas all day at the buffet. Anyone who wants to drink a soft drink or cold drink after breakfast will not have it. MSC didn't serve water in the main restaurant and you had to buy the part. Costa also serves water, juices, coffees and teas. Water only at the buffet, as well as juices only at breakfast, and often without ice, due to lack of ice in the machines. The difference is in the coffees and teas, served only for breakfast and afternoon. If you want some refreshing drink after breakfast, you will have to buy separately. In the main restaurant, if you want water, you must buy it. And on Royal Caribbean, water, juices, refreshments, coffees, teas and even ice cream. All served at will, all day long. In the main restaurant, water is served free of charge.
Não preciso comprar água igual na MSC, na Costa.
Disembarkation on the scales. Here we don't have much difference between the companies. In the three, you must get a password when disembarking is done by tender. Those who arrive earlier, get off earlier. In all cases, this process is boring and a little time-consuming. The criticism goes to MSC, which on our last trip delayed the descent at all scales, drastically reducing the time of the tour. Entertainment. It is standard for all companies to have ballads and dances at night, quizzes, dance classes, gymkhanas, gymnastics classes and dancing in the pool. Also theater shows, casino, and live music in some environments. MSC has below average shows, some you don't even want to watch, like musicals. And the ones that aren't musical are faint to look at. There are almost no attractions on the ship, except for 1 or 2 quizzes, scavenger hunts and dance classes, and the interior spaces have almost no activity, except for bingo and live music in some bars. There was mini-golf on the ship and a games room, but you had to ask the entertainment team for balls and games. The result was that nobody played anything in those places. Everything happened in the pool area, always crowded and difficult to get a table or a sun mat. On the Costa there are also almost no attractions, but a little better than on the MSC. Except that a quiz was regularly held in spaces inside the ship, there was also more live music going on in the internal bars. In the center of the ship there were 80s specials, cheesy music, dance classes, etc. Of the few modern attractions it had, such as a Formula 1 simulator and 4D cinema, Costa removed the simulator and replaced it with a bar, and the 4D cinema was not working the 2 times we traveled on the Costa Favolosa ship. Theater shows even weaker than MSC. At Royal, even on the smallest ship in the fleet that came to Brazil, it was simply impossible to do everything they prepared for us. In addition to the ballads, the theater shows were good. We rarely missed seeing one. There were dance classes, quizzes, ballads for singles, poker championships, bingo, belly contest, games in the pool between guests and officials, towel folding workshops, crafts, mixology classes, 80s night, afternoon theater shows and various concurrent events throughout the ship. But, if we compare any Costa or MSC ship with the Mariner of the Seas, which has already come to Brazil, things get ugly for them. Ice skating rink, surfing simulator, climbing wall, inline track, mini golf course and games room with clubs, balls and games available without having to ask, skypad, virtual reality simulator, ice skating shows ice, etc. Swimming pools and spaces on ships. MSC has ships where everything takes place in the pool area. Always tight, congested. To get tables you had to arrive at 7 a.m. Practically all daytime activities were carried out there and many people gathered there. The deck was littered with mats and all crowded. The internal spaces were a good size, but little activity was carried out in them, and they were almost always empty. On the Costa, on the Favolosa ship, we have 3 swimming pools. One close to the toboggan, one central and the other at the stern of the ship. Plenty of tables in the central pool, making it easy to get a seat, while the aft pool was more crowded. Costa's ships have the smallest square meter per guest, but the impression is that their ships are more spacious than MSC's. Less crowding at the pools, plenty of mats available for sunbathing, more space in the main restaurant, easier seating at the buffet. At Royal, even analyzing the company's smallest ships that came to Brazil, Vision and Splendor of the Seas, the impression is that they are bigger than Orchestra, Poja, and tied with Favolosa, which is bigger than them. Both ships had 2 pools, one central and the other in the solarium, and it was not difficult to get a table in the central pool. On the upper deck of the pool, in addition to the treadmills, there was also a running track. The ships as a whole were quite spacious. Royal is known for having the largest square meter per guest. Service standard. MSC and Costa do not seem to have a defined standard of service. With each season or on each ship the service seems to change. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. As for Royal, on the nearly 10 cruises we've taken with them to date, on all, absolutely all, the high standard of service has been exactly the same, in different seasons and on different ships. On MSC and Costa, when the ship is full, the service is slow, sluggish and poor. At Royal, once the ship reached maximum capacity according to the crew, only on the first day of the cruise was there a delay in service. Soon they took all the necessary measures and there were no more riots and no delay in service. Well, that ends our review. We hope we have helped you with this comparison and that it will be useful for your next vacation.